So we are live on Facebook and Instagram. Malcolm Forbes said the best vision is insight. Hi y'all, thanks so much for joining me. As you join, you can say hi and where you're joining from. In less than 15 minutes, I'll be sharing with you how you can get that insight to help you to grow and improve your business. Like and share this video if you get value from it. Hi y'all, I'm Dr. P. I'm a strategic business coach and I enjoy doing what I do. I've been a school psychologist for about 10 years in K-12 schools on the East Coast and on the West Coast in the U.S. I've served on professional organizational committees. Really enjoyed being a public and media relations chair in one of them. And I've also been a part-time professor for our online psychology program. I've taught more than 10 different courses. Excited. I love learning. I love teaching. I love coaching. I love consulting. I love mentoring. Love all those things, and I'm bringing them together to give you some value to help you to improve your business. So that quote I mentioned, Malcolm Forbes said, the best vision is insight. And honestly, that is so true. The best vision is insight. Because when you have that insight, when you have that knowledge, that background information, that helps you to be better able to make decisions, and it gives you information so you can have a better understanding, right? So that's why it can really help you with, getting that insight can really help you out. So the thing is that you gotta think about where that insight comes from. How do you really get that insight? But before I go on, do you even know who Malcolm Forbes is, though? Because Malcolm Forbes, he was the owner of Forbes magazine. I'm sure you've seen that label because many entrepreneurs, even you yourself, might be thinking, hey, I want to get featured in Forbes magazine, because that's a magazine that people go to, Forbes.com. I go on Forbes.com and I read a lot of articles on there that are very helpful for being a business owner, being an entrepreneur. So that's who Malcolm Forbes was. So like he said, the best vision is insight. So when we made our decision to start our own business, right? Made that decision based on something we were interested in, something we thought would be a great idea, something we were passionate about, or maybe something happened in your life. I don't know what was the reason for you starting your business. Then the next step may have been running out there and getting that website set up, doing a little bit of marketing and just getting yourself out there, right? Or some of you may have spent some time picking a name, designing a logo, but then there are a few of you who probably did what I'm going to talk about today, and that would be very helpful for you because if you did that, then that means you got that insight, you got that clarity that you needed in order to really start your business and be moving forward in your business. So kudos to you if that's what you did, and because you did it, you're probably encountering less frustrations. And you were able to create a plan because you were able to do this. So I am going to share that with you because it's really exciting when you actually get that insight to help you with your business. So for me, in all my psychology degrees, there was a topic that was throughout all of them, right? And each level that I did my psychology degrees in, I learned a little bit more about this one thing, right? And it is so beneficial because each time I learned the utility in conducting research and what that really meant. And let me tell you, in my business, I do the same thing. I take that utility in research and it helps me to understand a lot of things about the industry that is happening because you got to be engaging in continuous learning. So one of the topics that was covered in my doctorate was research design. And research design at the point in time was like, oh, this is probably just for doing a dissertation, but it isn't, because the skills, the strategies that I learned in there, I was able to even apply those things while I was doing my full-time job as a school psychologist. At the time I was doing my full-time job, and I was able to take some research design strategies and implement them. Why? Because with research design, I was able to learn about quantitative designs and qualitative designs and mixed method. And basically what it boils down to is how to design research wherein numbers are going to be involved and you have to read and understand numbers. Then the other one, qualitative, is basically taking information that's not numbers, kind of like people's information from interviews, from surveys that are just worded, taking that information and making sense of it. Or even focus groups, having some focus groups with some people and getting some information from them. Then mixed method is basically putting those two things together. So I was able to learn that when I was doing my doctorate, and it was beneficial for me as a school psychologist, as a special education administrator, as a faculty member, because I do look at that information to help me improve, and even on professional organizations, and as a business owner, I'm able to use those skills. And can I tell you, I also use those skills every time I moved, because I've lived in 4 different states here in the US, right? And even after getting the job, actually before getting the job, before I would apply to places, I did my research about them, because I wanted to know about the organization that I was going to be walking into. I wanted to know a little bit about the good and the bad, what are their strategic goals, what is their strategic plan, what is their vision, what is their mission, how are they structured, what type of services are offered, are there any specialty services, is it just one type of students that they serve, the demographics of the student, the SES, the socioeconomic status of the students, the ethnic diversity, the languages, looking at all that information, because that helped me to make a decision about whether or not that organization was going to be a good fit for me. Was I going to get to be able to do what I was hoping to do to advance my career within school psychology? It's all about building and improving. So I would do my research in those organizations before I even applied. And I use that in my application letters, in that cover letter that you write, would put in some of the information that I found, just to be able to show, hey, I did look into your company. And even on interviews, mention the information that I found in the research. Because why? I researched that organization, that school district, for a reason, and that's what helped me to make the decision for even going forward. Then after I got the job, then came another set of research, right? Trying to find some place to live. Because, trying to find some place to live when you haven't even lived in that state is really challenging. And that's what I was doing. Because I lived in Florida and moved to Washington, but I had never been to Washington, right? So it's like, oh my gosh, never been there. So I had to do some research into it. I had to find out about, okay, if I'm going to be working in this school district, what are the areas around? Where do I want to live? What is available? Then I also had to think about my own needs. What are things that I need in my day-to-day that are going to be accessible to me? So I took all of that information and, I researched what I needed to find. And that's what helped me to decide on where I wanted to live. And by the way, when I'm talking about doing this research, I'm not saying I kept this in my head. I had me some Excel spreadsheets, and anybody who knows me knows I love my Excel spreadsheets. I have my Excel spreadsheets, and I was putting all this information in there because I needed a way to track all of that information. So when you're doing your research, you need to have a way to not just figure out which website you want to go on for the information, but to track what you have found so you can keep track of it. Because when you walk away from something, a week from now, you might be like, oh my gosh, where did I find this, or did I already answer this question? You have to be able to have a way where you can look back and say, oh, I found this information from company A, company B, or from this website, whatever the case may be. Whatever is your way of keeping track of information, have it. If you are a printer and you love to print information so you can have it in your binder and you can look back at it, do that. If you're a writer, do that. If you take pictures on your phone, screenshots, do that. But my tip is make sure you have a way to track the information you are finding so that you can refer back to it at a later point in time. And it helps me. It really does help. And when you put it in a form that makes sense for you, then you can compare what you found. And that is awesome. Because sometimes when we're thinking about things, we might be thinking it's really good or it's really bad. But when you get the opportunity to put things in one place, you get to see not just the good and the bad, but you can compare. And then you can start to make sense of what you're doing. So picked up on it by now. That thing that you should be doing to get you that insight into the industry that you are going into for your business, or you're already in it, is doing research. You've probably heard the term market research, but that's what it's all about. It's about doing that research, because your great idea, it could be very great, could be very lucrative, could lead to a phenomenal business, but you also need to take some time to do some research into that, into that industry. So that way, your great idea, you can make it even better. If you've already done research and you're benefiting from it, then that's awesome. Congrats to you. But if you haven't done research yet, or you're not quite sure how to start to do the research, no worries. I can share a little bit about what you should be looking for in this video, because I like sharing information to provide you with solutions so you can get into action and get results. That's what it's all about. So I was reading an article on the entrepreneur, and it did outline 3 main things that you should be doing when you're researching your business. And I do agree with those 3 main things, because you've heard me mention having an idea. You have an idea for a business, right? So the type of research that you're going to be collecting is going to depend on whether or not your idea is connected to a product or if it's connected to a service. That's going to make a difference in terms of the type of information you're going to be collecting. Then, knowing your idea, knowing the type of, if you're going to be collecting information about a product or a service, then helps you to identify your potential market and the size of that competition, and then the usefulness of your product or your service that you have, right? Then, after you've done that, you have kind of like these 4 C's, and those 4 C's are company, customer, competition, and collaboration. So the company part is you're going to be thinking about the benefits of your company. And the reason why this is important is because as you get to learn about other companies, you're going to be looking at what they're calling their benefits. Because, ultimately you want to have that competitive advantage, right? That uniqueness that makes your business, your idea for a business unique, and why people should be coming to you. So that's why you need to be thinking about the benefits of your company, so that way when you do your research, you can compare and contrast, right? Then there is the customer. So this is talking about the type of customer that is related to your idea. That is something you have to also do a little research into, type of customers who are more likely to be attracted to the product that you're going to be having or the service that you're going to be having, right? Then there's competition. Who is your main competition, and how do you compete with them? So you might sit down and be thinking, I got this business, and you're not really aware that you have competition literally down the street. So that's where research comes in, looking to see who else is available in your area, your geographical area, who's doing the same thing, or who else is available online in your state, in your city, or just online in general. Who is your competition? So you have to have an idea of who your competition is. Then there's also the collaboration part. Because I don't know about you, but I know there's benefit in collaborating with others. So there might be some businesses out there that you're interested in collaborating with. So doing some research helps you to find out and identify who those businesses are. So remember, mention 3 things to help you with the research. The first one is the idea. The second one is analysis. Now this 3rd one is checking out the competition. So remember, just now I mentioned the fact that you have to know who your main competition is. You also need to know kind of your secondary competition and your tertiary competition, all your levels of competitors, because that really does give you a comprehensive view of who your competitors are. So then you go and you check them out. Seriously, check out your competition. And when you check out your competition, when you identify them, check them out. And by checking out, I mean visit their website. If they have a brick and mortar store, visit their brick and mortar store. See what they have going on. And then you can also join their mailing list. I know that might sound weird, but join their mailing list. Because when you join their mailing list, you get to see some of the messages that they're sharing. You get to see some of the resources that they're sharing. You also get to see the frequency with which they share information. And if your business is based on offering coupons and discounts, then you get to see how and when they offer theirs, how they're combining their packages. And the only way to find that out is to join their mailing list. Seriously, it's a great tool for you to use actually. And then, like I mentioned, learn about their offers, because your competition might have offers available just for the first time when you go on the website. But then the next time you go, that offer isn't available anymore. Or they might have an offer in a certain time of the day, a certain time of the year, a certain time of the week, a certain time of the month. Point is, learn about their offer. They could be offering a singular product or a combined set of products. They could be offering one service, or they could be offering a combination of services as specific offers. But the thing is, in order for you to know this, you have to go and check out your competition. And that's something I do, and I really do recommend that others do it as well, because you learn a lot from it as well. And you learn a lot not just about your competitors, but about your business and how you are structured in your business. So message me if you want to get more information. Remember, solutions plus actions equals results. Thank y'all so much for joining me. Until next time. Bye, y'all.